Alrighty, guys, so the markets ended up rallying heading into the end of the day, and we got to break that down in this video. You can see Triple Q in the middle of the day, which is actually when it hit the low point of the day, was at about $285. And you can see right now it's actually just running over $290 in the aftermarket hours. So in other words, it ran up, well, it's currently up about $5 from that point. In other words, 1.5%. And we could see here SPY ended up running, let's see, from I think the low was 382. Okay, 382 was the low from the middle of the day. And now SPY is pushing 387 after the bell. It is up about 1.2%. So now is, the fact that the market's rallying, is this a reversal? Is this a full-on breakout for the bulls? No, guys, it's not. It's not at all. In fact, we still ended up closing red today. Russell down 1.5, NASDAQ down 0.5. We had the S&P down 0.75% as the Dow went down about 0.5%. Same with the NASDAQ, right? So all we saw really was a very beaten down market rallying into the close on a Friday. It doesn't seem like really it's anything out of the ordinary. And if I pull up the 5-day 5-minute on SPY, you guys can see we're still well in a downtrend from earlier this week. We're still well in a downtrend. And Triple Q, same thing. You can see here, if I draw it out, a trend line on the 5-day, still in a downtrend. So we did rally a bit. A lot of stocks did see a nice push from the middle of the day to the close, but it's, the markets are still being dominated by the bears. And if I pull up gold, silver, those ended up doing well on the day-to-day. Silver ended up going up just about a little under 2% on the day. And if I pull up the 4-hour, you can see a clear start of a potential reversal on silver, as now it's above the moving averages on the 4-hour chart for the first time in a good couple of weeks. So if silver could break out of $20, guys, there could be a big move coming from there, especially if it takes the highs out from back in the beginning of August and the highs from back in June, right around 22.50. If silver, let's say, cracks 20 initially, then starts moving at 22, that is where bulls could really start moving this thing higher. And as for gold, let's see here. Gold had an all right day, 0.4%, solid day. And this is still well within a downtrend. It's not really trying to reverse like silver is. It's still well in a downtrend. In fact, gold just hit a fresh low on this 4-hour chart. You heard that right. Gold is down $400 an ounce. It's almost officially in a bear market from where it was back in March. If you guys remember, gold was just under $2,100 an ounce. It is now under $1,700 an ounce. We're down 18, 19, almost 20%. So, yeah, who would have thought? Who would have knew? I mean, in a time with so much inflation, who would have knew a historical inflation hedge is down? It's down on the year. It's pretty crazy. But if I pull up the 3-year chart, I think it's still up. Actually, no. Wait a second. Oh, no, this is the 1-year chart. Wait a second. 3-year chart. Yeah, that's what I thought. The 3-year chart is still showing gold's in an uptrend, right? And on the max chart, let's pull that up. Clearly, gold is still in an uptrend, guys. And if you look at this max chart, it kind of makes sense what we're seeing right now. I mean, does this not look like a textbook double top? I mean, come on. Look at this. Textbook double top on gold. You guys see that. Clear as freaking day in my eyes. And we're now just simply pulling back. We're still well above the moving averages here. Still well in an uptrend. We might get buying pressure in gold, on gold, 1,1600. To be honest, I would not be surprised if that ended up happening. So now that we talked about gold, silver, let's talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum. And if you guys are finding value, as always, hit that like button. Let's try to run the likes up on this video. It really helps me out overall in the YouTube algorithm. So here we are in the Webull platform, the online platform here, and we can see Ethereum is not looking good. And we'll talk about Bitcoin here in a second. So Ethereum is down 2.5% right now. It is at about $1,430 a coin. And right now when I'm filming, guys, look at where it's testing. We actually drew this out, I think, in my video yesterday. We can see Ethereum's testing 1430, 40, 50. It's actually under 1450. Now it's testing about the 1400 to 1450 level, which happens to be the low from the end of August, which I believe we're going to pierce that low. We're already, moving in that direction, guys. It's very obvious. We have a descending triangle. Lower high was made. This looks like it's going to go lower. And if it does crack under 14, 1350 is next. That was the low from the end of July. And if that point breaks, 1350, oh man, we're probably going to be going high 1200s. That was the double top from the end of June, heading into July. Then if high 1200s breaks, 1,000, this thing could get very ugly. So just know 1,400, let's just say 13 to 14. This is a very big spot for the bulls when it comes to Ethereum. It's a big, big support level. And for Bitcoin, let's pull it up. Bitcoin right now is actually at break even. A lot of the selling, I feel like, I don't want to say it came in on Bitcoin already, but Bitcoin got bludgeoned from the middle of August pretty much, from 25 down to about 18.5 just about 8 days ago. Saw a bit of a rally to 22.3 or 22.8 rather. Now it's at about 19.7, so it's so close to the lows. And maybe I don't know why it's not participating in the sell-off today. But in my eyes, it's like maybe it's just so beaten down already. The past couple of days, weeks, it's just cooling off today. As Ethereum on the flip side, I think it wasn't as beaten down, if I remember correctly, as Bitcoin was. Maybe that's why it's getting a little bit more of a beating the past couple of days. But overall, whatever, it doesn't matter. Either way, Ethereum's at a critical spot, and Bitcoin's kind of coasting. It could really go either way by the looks of it. If Bitcoin decides to break under 19,000, all right, we're probably going to 17.5 at that point. But if it starts moving past 20, 2,500, 21,000, there's a legitimate case for another bull move to the upside from there. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want 12 stocks from this platform right here, Webull, use that link down below. Deposit any amount of money and you get 12 stocks. Or if you don't want to use that link, just go to your web browser, type in stocksforfest.com/Webull, and you get some free stocks. It also helps out the channel. I appreciate you guys as always. So now let's shift back over to ThinkOrSwim, the trusty old platform here, and see what's going on with some of these stocks. We're not going to spend too much time in this video because it's Friday. We don't want to be in here for hours today, but we are going to spend a couple of minutes on some stocks that I'm looking at, what went up today, down, some charts, big tech. We might as well actually start with big tech and see how they ended up doing this week. We'll see what big tech stocks crushed it, if any. I doubt there's even any, and what held up, what got hit the most, right? So let's start off with my favorite big tech stock. Might be controversial, but it's my favorite one, Alphabet, also known as good old Google. And let me make sure you guys can see me. Yep, you can see me. So to start off the week, Google, or also known as Alphabet, was at $112. Closed the week at 103. So that was a big, we're talking 7, 8, almost an 8% down week for Alphabet. That is rough. Apple on the week, let's see how that compares to what Apple was. So Apple was started the week at what? 159 roughly, and it closed it at 150. So it went down about 5%. Not bad. All right. And I'm going to be looking at Monday's opening price, not last Friday's closing price. I'm looking at Monday's opening price here. So Monday, we had Microsoft open at about 265. It closed at 245. It had a down week of 7.5%, almost 8%. So right now, let me redo Google. Let me make sure I did that right. Right now, Google is the most read this week, roughly. And if I'm wrong slightly, guys, all right, I'm sorry. Actually, wait a second. I redid that. And actually, Google only went down 7.4% on the week. So Microsoft's actually in first. What else am I missing here, guys? Meta might have came in first, actually. Yeah. This is going to be the worst one. Meta was at $170 to start the week. Now it just closed at 146. Talk about complete destruction. Meta went down 14% this week. And this is a stock that I own. I'm down on it. I'll be honest, I'm down, but I'm buying more right now. I'm buying more Meta, guys. That's just the truth. So, yeah, Meta's looking like it's the one that got hit the most this week. Maybe Amazon. Maybe Amazon is the second worst. Let's see here. Amazon. Let's see. Where were you, Amazon? Amazon was at, to begin the week, roughly 134. It closed at 123. So what? It went down 8.5% roughly. So yeah, Amazon got hit the second most, Meta the most. Then we had Apple the least, I think. Then Google and Microsoft were right there, kind of tied at about 7.5%. So why am I saying this? Well, because, guys, I think some of these big tech names are coming to good values right now, especially Meta. We're not going to talk about that. I talk about that a lot on the channel. I don't want to bore you guys, but Meta, for sure, very solid value. In my opinion, this has been a value for a couple months at this point. Google now, especially as it almost got under 100 today, Google hit $101. And let me actually pull this up on my trusty iPad, guys. Give me a second. Make sure to hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Google's P ratio, I actually haven't looked at it in a while. It's got to be like a 15 now. It's got to be. Come on. Let's see here. Trailing 12 month, it is at, okay, it's at a 19. Fine. It's under a 20, which for me, looking at Google Alphabet, that is pretty, it's not getting to dirt cheap basement bargain value valuation. It's not there yet. That'd be something like a 13p or 10p or even a 15. I mean, I'd consider that. But it's getting to a point where it's now pretty dang good. I mean, Google's officially now down pretty much 35% from where it was back in, when was this? Just a couple of months ago. This stock is down a lot. And for me, if it gets under 100 to 90, especially under 90, I'm going to be loading the freaking boat on Google. And I know future stocks 3-5 years down the road is going to be thanking present stocks. That's the whole point about investing, guys. Find businesses that you understand, that are at good values. You buy them, you block out the noise, and you hold for a couple of years. And if you pick good companies, guys, a lot of the time, you're going to do well. Now, are you going to pick some stocks that suck? Of course. I've done that plenty of times. You all know that. I've done that plenty of times. But if you do research, you pick good companies, you invest a lot in index funds as well, you're going to be good. You're going to look at bear markets from then on forward as opportunities instead of times where you're going to be panicking. So that's how big tech did this week. I mean, it was just a freaking nasty week this week. And I mean, in terms of, I guess we can see Tesla too. Let's pull that up. Tesla might have held its own this week, actually. I think Tesla, held above 300. Tesla might have even went up this week. Hold on a second. Yeah, it did. I think it did. Yeah, it did. From Monday's open, it was at $300. It closed at 303. It went up ever so slightly, but it did. It went up 0.8% on the week. Pretty funny. So yeah, guys, for me in the very short term here for next week, I mean, I'm just going to keep it blunt, honest. I'm going to be averaging into VOO. I'm going to be buying more S&P 500 as markets are clearly starting to get hit. And the reason why I like VOO over SPY, I talk about SPY a lot, but for a long-term hold, I like VOO more because the expense ratio is a lot lower. We're talking it's 0.03%, which is $3 for every $10,000, and SPY's is 0.09%, which is $9 for every $10,000. So it's not the end of the world. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, it doesn't freaking matter. But if we're nitpicking here, for me, that is a reason to invest with VOO instead of SPY. But for the average person out there, just get your money in something that tracks SPY or the S&P, and you'll be fine. The little expense ratio, the nitty-gritty, well, expense ratio, you got to pay attention to it for sure. But 0.03 to 0.09, will it really make that much of a life-changing difference in the grand scheme of things? It really won't. But for me, guys, I'm nitpicking. All right, I'm nitpicking. Fine. All right, you can accuse me of that. But VOO, I'm buying VOO. I'm going to be buying more Google most likely if it gets under 100, which I have a feeling could happen easily next week. I'm going to be buying Adobe, more Adobe. I bought some in my fiance's account. I think I mentioned that in my morning video today. And if it's able to come under 275, I'm going to be looking at a position for myself. Honestly, forget 275. 290, 280, I'm going to be buying more. Under 290, I'm going to be buying for myself. Again, I bought for my fiance. I'm confusing right now. And really, I have a feeling, guys, and I could be wrong, but I'm banking on it. I think Adobe's going to come down even lower, to be honest. I do think it's going to start coming down to test those lows from the March lows of 2020, and that's where I'm going to be buying aggressively. And you can say I'm being a little bit too, I'm not biting right now. You might be like, Stas, why aren't you buying right now? I'm just being very patient, guys, and I'm sticking to that price target. I'm sticking to that mid to high. It's more like 250 to 275. That is my price target where I really want to buy Adobe, and I'm sticking to it. And let's see another one here. Nvidia is getting very awfully close for me, to buy it. I think today it hit 126, rallied to about 130. Oh my gosh, is it up to 135 after the bell right now? No, it's not. I read that wrong. It's at 132. So it rallied a little bit off the low from today. We're talking about 4 or 5%. And I'll be buying this. If this comes down to 100, 110, 15, that's where I'm going to be buying the initial position of Nvidia. And I'm just being patient. I'm just being patient at this point because who knows? A lot of big people out there nowadays, they're predicting, and I'm not just following them and bowing down to them and doing everything they're saying, but a lot of people are predicting that the markets could go a lot lower. I actually have a little video coming out tomorrow about Ray Dalio. He made a post, I think it was on LinkedIn, talking about how the stock market could go down 20% more if the Fed raises rates to 4.5%, because inflation is not going down. I mean, it's still very hot. We had a surprise reading in August. So at this point, guys, I'm not saying to stop investing because the markets could go down. Still dollar cost average. I'm doing that. But I'm just being a little bit more cautious and a little bit more patient with my individual stock purchases because, again, there's always that risk we could be going lower. And the truth is, if we do get SPY down another couple percentage points, it doesn't even have to be 20%. It could be 5-10%, and Triple Q down another 5-10%. We're going to get Nvidia at my price target, Adobe at my price target, and that is where I'm going to strike. So we'll see. I mean, Ray Dalio could be wrong. Who knows? These other people that are claiming we're in a global recession, FedEx, they could be wrong. Who knows? But I'm being cautious. I'm being patient. And I'm looking really long-term at this point, and I'm trying to get that right price. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap the video up, guys. If you all enjoyed it, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. Check out my Patreon if you want. Don't forget to get your 13 stocks for Moomoo with a $100 deposit. Each of those could be up. Actually, wait a second. It's 15 stocks now, so they upped the ante. I forgot about that. 15 stocks now with a $100 deposit. Each of those could be up to $2,000. Linked right down below, or you can go to StasForFest.com/Moomoo. And don't forget to also get your 12 stocks from Webull with any amount deposited. Also linked down below. And with that being said, cheers, guys. I will catch you in the next video. Have a great weekend. Peace out.